I've been sitting on this story for 2 years, 2 or 3 years. I lost count on how long it's been since I've uh, come back to my house from where we were stationed at Fort Polk and I've told this story to a couple of experts, and there seems to be a non-committal response. It's almost as if it's not even heard or it's over their head, kind of like living at the airport. Airport. I think it's important. Of all the things that I have experienced and seen, I think that this is important. And maybe people don't, I don't know. Anyway, the story, Rover for the story. Was all inspired to tell you last night that I looked like crap. I didn't want to put out another video of me looking like crap. So I didn't do another video of me looking like crap, and now I'm here and I actually have like lipstick on. Dun dun dun. I had just returned to the house from where my husband was preparing to retire from the army. I was here, I had come ahead, and I didn't even have a bed yet at the time. I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor in my bedroom. I knew that I had a new implant behind my ear, and it had only just stopped being sore. So, and I don't remember which year, but when you ask it, I don't remember which year. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling now, it doesn't feel like I've got anything at the moment, huh? And, I and many people in my situation, we have this thing about how we wake up in the middle of the night. We might be waking up from being dropped off. We might be waking up from a pickup, but we tend to just kind of wake up usually around 2 to 3 in the morning. Medicine. It's medicine, I promise. It's legal drugs. Actually, it's not even drugs, it's antibiotics. Ha! Ha! You thought I was getting high telling the story? So I'm coming awake and I'm lying on my little mattress under the blankets, and I remember that it wasn't quite winter yet, it was probably fall, because I had the fan going. And I'm laying there, like you do. And then, I'm listening to the fan. And then all of a sudden, it was like the world just completely turned off. And I mean the world, everything, existence, the air, light, sound, the mattress, just my body, everything just turned off. There was a click as the fan lost its power, that soft click you get, and then it was nothing, just nothingness. And then this rumble started happening, and I have to draw this for you. This in my bedroom. In my bedroom. Here's the door. Right here. That the handlers come in. The time that happened, the bed was here. There's a window here. This is hard to do, just so you know. There was a window here, and then there's another window up here. And over up here is an empty field from where the neighbor owns more land than house, and she's got like this huge house. I mean, it's huge. And then she's got like, I don't know how many acres, but it's right next to my house. Like literally, like I have like 2 feet until her until her property begins. And it's just this beautiful empty field. And always at this window when I'm home, hand marks will appear at this window from where I'm sleepwalking, or maybe one of my alters is getting up, and I'm basically leaning and looking out the window, waiting and watching. This is not the only place this happened. This has happened everywhere I have lived since about 2002 or 1, that I noticed. Who knows how much before that there's going to be handprints, and one place in the house where I will be standing and watching. Now, things like to try to come in this window. I've actually had an abduction attempt where Greys came in through this window to take me out the window, and that was problematic for the Greys because I was co-conscious and it wasn't pretty. But I'll talk about that another day. But so the mattress was here at the time, and this picture is not to scale. Okay, just pretend I'm not wearing the shirt. Pretend. See, this is the benefit of mermaid hair. So the rumbling appeared in the meadow. It just kind of came down, and when it descended down, and I do mean it descended down, I thought to myself in the nothingness, well, the power must be out. There's a storm, because we get squalls here. We get these sudden squalls, and they can be pretty devastating. It's descending, and I'm thinking, wow, thunder. storm, light, power's out. Okay, I'll just stay here in bed because it's dark and scary. And even the fan's not going. I don't like this. And then it kept going, and the rumbling kept going. And I actually thought to myself, that's one hell of a last long lightning bolt. You could tell it was right over the field. I thought that the lightning was striking the field. But when the rumbling kept going and I got more and more awake inside my nothingness, I mean, I could barely feel the mattress underneath me. That's how turned off the world was. Is I only knew there was a mattress there, and that was it. I realized that it was not a storm. And so then, how, I don't know if you know, but when you're getting picked up, which is very obviously what this was, when you're getting picked up, all of the information that's in your head about it, that's shut off, it opens up, and suddenly you just know all the stuff that you didn't think you knew an hour ago. It's not that you didn't know it, you're just not accessing the information. I mean, stop and think about it. When's the last time you stopped to remember how to drink out of your sippy cup? Anybody? The only reason why I'm thinking of it is because I just now brought it up, but I'm probably spent a good couple of years without thinking of my sippy cup. Okay, and that's how the data pool in your head generally tends to work. And so, in a panic, I realized that there's something else going on, and the rumbling's just going on and on, and the whole world is nothing but a rumble, and everything is turned off while my universe is nothing but a rumble, and it's the universe is so turned off that black wasn't even black. It was like I was blind. Okay, I could hear this feedback in my head, and it was like a computer baud, kind of like that sound you would hear in the old days when we would dial up to get on the internet with a modem. It was that kind of computer feedback, and it's just going on in my head, and the rumbling's just going and going and going, and I'm laying there, and some part of me realized this is not cool. And so I don't know why, but I was laying there repeating to myself, thank God I listened 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 to myself. And this went on for a good minute or 2 minutes. I don't know how long. It seemed like forever. I'm laying there, and I am determined not to get off that mattress. I am not moving. I am not answering. I am not going out there. I made a conscious decision not to get up and go out, even though there was this very faint urge to go to the rumble. It was so faint that I actually questioned if I actually felt it. Okay, so, you know, and suddenly the world just turned right back on again. I mean, the rumble didn't fade away. It was just everything was just suddenly gone. There wasn't even a click when the world turned back on again. It was just suddenly back. All the lights in the house were on. The fan was going. Everything was just like suddenly. I can't even explain how it was just suddenly back. It was just suddenly back. The next day or two later, the implant was removed from behind my ear. I've thought about this a very long time, and the researchers that I approached about it, who did not even want to discuss it, kind of left me my own devices. The only time I have heard of a rumble over a place of people getting abducted, it happens to do with a human mutilation case from way back. I don't remember what year. It's something that was mentioned by a human mutilation researcher in a lecture. And that's the only time I have seen or heard a reference to a rumble. So I know that rumbles are indeed associated with pickups. It is currently my theory, and I do mean theory, that that implant was put behind my ear as a test to see if it could block the pickups. Which would be why I was thinking, God, I listen to myself. Because I used to be under a lot of pressure by people to do everything I could to break free, and I didn't want to because I didn't have enough data and I didn't know what was going on, and I knew that if I broke free I would stop getting data on the matter. So I'm not saying the program's good. You guys, people always tend to think I'm saying the program's good whenever I get an objective point of view. But the objective point of view is I had this new implant. A pickup tried to happen. Feedback in my head like crazy. And I was able to maintain myself and stay where I was when a lot of reports say you can't do that normally. But my head was filled with feedback, which would suggest that the signal was being jumped and scrambled. It seems to me that this kind of event's important. People are going on about, oh, this abduction, this, and we should stop them that. Well, what if there is a way to stop them? What if there is a way to stop them? Should the government share it? Yeah, if this is the case. But, what are the implants for? Well, here's another reason why it's important. This might be a clue as to what some of the implants are for. Possibly, possibly I was part of an experiment. Possibly also, to be objective, that implant might have saved my life if this is the case. Either way, why is this event so ignored? It drives me crazy because I've not heard anyone say anything similar, and I've been listening to stuff and we went and aliens this, aliens that, and I'm currently able to tell you I resisted. Of course, I may not have been able to resist. It could be that when the universe turned on again, it's because I failed to resist and I have a gap in time. I don't know. No one will take me seriously enough to help me explore it. But I shared this event with the alien hunter dude whose name I never can remember, and didn't expect a response. It's not been long enough to expect a response. It's only been a few days, but I don't care. I'm probably never going to get a response. And it occurred to me last night that, wait a minute, I'm telling people and no one fucking cares. Fine. It is now on the internet. As soon as I upload this, it's now on the internet. Somebody out there somewhere can use this information, I am sure. So, good luck to you.